Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's the final week of the year, and that means it's time for a kitchen renovation update. We set ourselves a big challenge: finish this kitchen by New Year's Eve. As the clock keeps ticking, we're running into more obstacles than we expected, and the pressure is definitely on. With time running out and a few major challenges still standing in our way, are we actually ready to call the most important room in the house complete? Let's find out.
Alright, I'm about to cut the first countertop. This piece here. So since the corner is not 90 degrees, I'm just going off, centering the stove and taking the distance there to there, there to there. And then I'm gonna cut that angle, whatever it ends up being. I'm gonna have to make a little piece here to connect these two countertops, because there's 65 centimeters. That's sticking out 4 centimeters. So it's not gonna be enough here. So I'm gonna have to make a little piece. Set it up already where I want it. And I'm about to do the cut. Alright, gonna test fit this, see how it goes. I'm guessing it's just about 0 chance it's gonna fit the first try. See if I cut it right. If not, these countertops are by far the most expensive thing in the kitchen. So I really hope I don't mess anything up. Can't be too unhappy with that. Obviously there goes silicone around all edges, so you have a little bit of gap you can leave. But I'm happy with that. Time to check out if it was cut remotely correct. Time to put this weird little piece in here and see if it fits, and cut out for the gas stovetop. I really hope this works. If I do mess this up, I'm gonna be a little bit annoyed with myself. I really hope this is gonna be fine. Actually, looks very nice. Pretty much perfect. Okay, awesome. Let's do the other one. I had to do some fine adjustments in the corners with a handsaw, but I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's pretty close. I think with a tiny bit of silicone, this will look pretty good.
After cutting and installing all the countertops, it was finally time to put the cupboards into their final place and polish the last knobs. For the first time, we could see the entire picture of our brand new, recycled kitchen coming together.
Looking pretty good. Things left to do. Gonna make a little panel under there from the same material. There's 2 drawers that go in there. This is gonna be a microwave. The previous owner of this kitchen, I bought the kitchen 2 months ago, and I didn't take the corner vent from him because I thought I wouldn't need it, but I've changed my mind. I contacted him and went yesterday to pick it up. He still hadn't taken it down, so now I have to paint it and put it up. It's a massive thing. Hopefully it fits in the crooked corner all right. I'm having to adjust it a little because it was cut a little different for the previous house it was in. I'm just gonna make it even on the top. I've made it level all around. Time to fix this up. Gonna need some wood filler, a lot of sanding, and a lot of peeling off old wallpaper. I could use a steamer, but I don't think it's really needed. And I don't want to make the wood wet. Need to paint it later.
Preparing this final piece of furniture took a lot more time than expected, since it was handmade to fit the previous kitchen, which didn't have straight walls either. Adjusting it was a careful, time-consuming process. We also decided not to paint over the existing wallpaper, which added even more preparation time than we originally planned.
Back at it once again. Hopefully this is the last green thing I have to paint for a while. I'm just gonna spray the list here green. I'm just gonna fully spray it twice, then varnish, then let it dry. Then I'm gonna mask it off and paint the rest white. So I'm not gonna worry about any overspray this time. And then hopefully the white covers easily all the green. This gun is getting worse and worse. It's barely spraying anything. I guess I could have been better at cleaning it every time, but texture is not very nice, but I think we'll just smoothen out as it dries a little. Turns out very nice, and would have been good enough with one coat, but now I've changed my mind.
Gisli, being the definition of a perfectionist, doesn't want anything sticking out, smeared, or standing out in an unnatural way. Even when he dares to challenge physics and ignore material instructions, he always finds a way to fix it so it looks exactly as it should.
Alrighty, time to paint it all green. And there's a visible screw in here as well. I always wanted to know what happens when you paint over wet filler. Not really, but I do not have the patience to wait for anything to dry anymore. I'm quite tired of waiting. So let's potentially mess this up for good and try painting directly over it because I don't want to wait. Not looking too horrible. I asked the boss, and boss man says to keep it green and that no one will notice these little spots anyway. And I guess he's probably right. So, one more thick coat and hope for the best.
So one last coat of green to make sure all the imperfections are covered, and then it's time for the final step, the varnish. Despite the fact that we're running out of time, Gisli came up with another great idea.
So we have a little leftover material from the countertops. We're gonna use it to make 2 shelves and some nice triangle pieces that I'm gonna use to mount it here to support the shelf.
Time's ticking, so let's keep moving.
Time to ruin all my work and make a hole here for the vent. The pipe went through. It managed to fit through one of the one of the new bricks I put. Thankfully it was a nice location for it, where the hole was in the brick. Still need to clean the thing and paint it and then somehow hold it up because it's very heavy. A lot to figure out still. Alright, time to tackle the rest of this. I had finished the right side. This is the top and the left side left. I had to buy more mortar and wait for nicer weather.
While the mortar dries, let's check out the package we just got.
A little present from my friend Ali in China has arrived. So the new digger keeps blowing the hoses. It's not very cheap to replace them every single time. So I thought instead, might as well buy a press tool to save myself some money on hoses. Since if you buy the material yourself, one 3-meter hose costs maybe 20 euros, but if you want them to make it for you, it's like 50 or 80 euros. So I think this investment might come in handy in the long run. Awesome. I hope this works. Comes with a pressure gauge and everything. And plenty of different fittings for it, or different hoses. Awesome. Alright, I tried the machine. crimped one end and it's good. Now I'm just making sure that the little nipples are facing the same way before I crimp the second one, so that the line won't have any funny twists once it's installed. Alright, I'm gonna throw this one in the machine and crimp it up. Alright, shoving it through. Putting back the little eyes. Making sure it's shoved all the way in. And then squeezing it to 4,000 psi. Takes a few pumps. There we go. Both ends crimped on. Hope they don't blow off, but not the end of the world. And I guess that saves me probably 50 euros. So every time the tractor or the digger blows a line, it shouldn't be an issue. It's been a couple of months since I took this one apart. I was waiting for the new press. I just hope I remember how it goes back together. I think it's gonna be a future project to put some concrete on the floor in the barn. It'd be nice to have a clean workspace. So many questions. Is the battery dead? Will the crimps hold? Is it correctly put together? Probably. Probably all fine, but let's test it out. To add some hydraulic fluid, then I think we're good. It's repaired, filled with hydraulic fluid, but it's so dirty. I'm gonna pressure wash it quickly so I don't have to be scared of using it every time. I'm getting covered every time you touch anything.
But let's go back to the kitchen. New Year's Eve is almost here and the kitchen isn't going to finish itself.
It's time to do the silicone. I went with brown silicone, so I'm going to have to be quite careful with the rough texture of the wall, not to smear it too high. So I think I'm gonna tape on the wall, probably everywhere on the wall. I need to seal under the sink, the edges of the gas stove, and then everywhere around, and fill the little grooves. I'm gonna start by cleaning the edge of the wood just a little bit with alcohol, because they are treated with oil and I want the silicone to stick properly. Just using some 95% alcohol. I think I'm gonna start one side at a time, or basically put silicone all the way around, put it down, lift it up a little bit on the other side, finish the edge. I've thought first of tilting it that way, and had this one up and didn't notice it, and took a nice chunk. Ah, perfect. One more little thing to fix. So this one is completely flat underneath. I don't think we're gonna need too much silicone. Nice and easy, steady hands. I guess like this I can almost make it around the hole. Dum 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 dum. It's a little bit of a darker color than I would have liked, but it's not like the choices in these tiny little building material stores in the middle of the countryside have many options. I have measuring tape to make sure I center the sink afterwards. 7.5. Too wet now and too dark to see. It's like barely visible anyway, since a thin little bead with the sink all the way. When I do next to the, because I'm not going to do underneath the gas stove, I'm going to have to be more careful and make it a little thicker so it will actually stay in place. Alright, seems like the paint is sticking very well to the wall. So I think I'll do the silicone and then paint a little bit again. Oh Lord, I really love this. Painting and siliconing, so much fun. Just gonna catch a little close up of how it was before. Before I smear silicone all up the wall.
Putting silicone around the kitchen takes some careful work. Some surfaces go on smoothly, but others, like the walls, can be a real challenge.
Alright, done with this little area. Not super happy with how it turned out, but like here it's nice where I can use the tool because the paint here is quite smooth. So I can make it a nice, decent angle. Well, it's a little, not perfect there. Against the wall. Not very nice. Still have to paint, of course, again. But here is nice, kind of what I'm going for. And around the stove went fine. Looks good. Filling this crack. Looks good. These ones, okay, I guess. Need to see if I can throw a little color in the wood here. This one looks good. But yeah, overall, not too happy. Just don't know how to do it nicely if I can't scrape it with a rough texture.
So the silicone is all done, but that's not the end of it. There are still a few finishing touches left to make the kitchen truly complete, Let's see what's next.
It's finally time to remove the little concrete mold on the outside of the window. I guess it turned out okay. So if I ever do decide to do some nice finish here on the back of the house, I guess this is more than enough.
Back to the kitchen, where we are installing the very last piece of furniture with a little help from our family. This kitchen hood was way too heavy for just the two of us to lift and mount on the wall, so we waited for our family to arrive on vacation and give us all the extra hands we could get. But time is running out, so what's left to do? And finally, this kitchen is complete. We set a goal and we achieved it. But this is only the beginning of our story in this farmhouse. A new year is here, and we're so excited for what's to come. Thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year!
Klaus, where waits for life in London?